Short vid. Part of the vids are self-serving because they help me. How was that put together before? Anyway, underneath this air box is the valve cover, and it's kind of interesting. So that comes off. Took 4 bolts off, um, and there is the cover for the valves. So there's a 2 cylinder in there. There's a intake and exhaust valve under there, and it's like it tells you a lot. Whether it's all brown and overheated and ugly oil. So, and I didn't destroy the gasket. It just basically was ready to pop off. So far, this thing has been very forgiving and very helpful. It's coming apart, so I hope that continues. Heavy gasket, but look at this. Nice. Um, so, per YouTubers, this is cylinder 1 and cylinder 2. So intakes are here. You can tell because the carburetor is feeding these valves, and that goes into the cylinders. And then you can see the exhaust manifold is grabbing out these two. So this is the exhaust valve and the exhaust valve. And there's different tolerances. Obviously, you have to move the cylinder so that it's at top dead center, so you get a little play. And then you got to make sure that you're with feeler gauges, it's the right amount of play. So getting the cylinders in the right position is what is most important before you adjust anything. But I was just surprised at the cleanliness of that. It looks like, the oil didn't look bad on the dipstick, but it looks pretty nice here. Very pleased. So probably going to put the cover back on while I do other things. But, engine that's, what is this, 31 years old. Who knows when the valves were adjusted last, and you're supposed to do it every like 2 years. So that'll be a project. It's pretty easy. These are lock nuts, and then this is a little slot in it. Actually, there's a little square head on here to turn it to make the adjustment, and then you just lock it back down again. After you get the feeler gauge, this one moves a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not with my shaking hands, but after you get the feeler gauge in there, make sure it's got the right amount of relaxation at the top of, you get the compression stroke. The compression stroke, when the piston's going to fire and all the valves are closed, that's when these should have their little bit of, both the exhaust and the intake should both be loose at that point. And like this one isn't. So, but I don't know where the pistons are. I got to take the spark plugs off, spark plugs out, and I'll basically turn the engine slowly to make sure that the cylinder is at the top of its rise. And they should both be open. I mean, there's 2 places that it's a 4 cycle, right? So it goes up, down, and there's only one of those is the compression stroke going up. So you get a 50-50 chance of knowing, but you'll find out if they're both a little bit loose, that's compression stroke. Obviously, when both valves are closed. If it's pumping out exhaust or sucking in new fuel and stuff, that won't be the case. So anyway, valve adjustment. Nice.